Welcome back, students. I am Bhavna. Let's dig into the history of computers and know about their great grandfathers. We will be learning about the first of computers, the different types of computers, and other IT gadgets that we are using today. Now, as it is rightly said, that in order to innovate the future, it is important to know the past. Therefore, we shall first learn about the evolution of computers. The evolution is often divided into five generations. The technology behind the primary generation of computers was a fragile glass device which was vacuum tubes. These computers were really large and not very reliable, and programming on them was a tedious task as they used machine language and had no operating system. First generation computers were used for calculation, storage, and control purposes. They needed a full room and consumed a lot of electricity. The main first generation computers are ENIAC, which is Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, built by J. Presper Eckert and John V. Mauchly. It was a general purpose computer. It had been very heavy, large, and it contained 18,000 vacuum tubes. EDVAC, Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer, was designed by John von Neumann. It could store data also as instruction, and thus the speed was enhanced. Now UNIVAC, which is Universal Automatic Computer, and it was developed in 1952 by Eckert and Mauchly. The first generation computers had the following characteristics. The main electronic component was vacuum tube. Their main memory devices were magnetic drums and magnetic tapes. Their programming language was machine language or low-level language. They consumed a lot of electricity and generated a lot of heat. They were extremely slow and very large, often taking up the entire room. They used punched cards as input device and paper tape as an output device. There were about 100 different vacuum tube computers produced between 1942 and 1963. Within the decade, the core technology of the computers upgraded from bulky vacuum tubes to small transistors. Thus, we received second generation of computers. Now don't confuse these transistors with radio transistors that we use to listen to music. These are small electronic devices that can perform some basic functions. They were composed of semiconductor material like silicon that opens up or closes a circuit. The use of transistors made it possible for computers to perform with great speed. It reduced the dimension and price, and thankfully the warmth too, which was generated by the vacuum tubes. Now a fun fact. The central processing unit CPU, memory, programming language, and input and output units that we use nowadays also came into force within the second generation only. Not only did technology change, even the programming language saw a shift. The programming language was shifted from low level to mid level and made programming comparatively a simple task for programmers. Languages used for programming during this era were Fortran, Algol, and COBOL. Now let's discuss the characteristics of second generation computers. Their main electronic component was transistor. The programming language used machine language and assembly language. Memory devices used magnetic core and magnetic tape or disk. They used punched card as input device and paper tape as output devices. They were very small in size and had low power consumption and generated less heat when they were compared to first generation computers. Some second generation computers were PDP-8, IBM 1400 series, IBM 7090 and 7094, UNIVAC 1107 and CDC 3600. Now, the technology saw a great advance in the next decade, and multiple transistors could now be integrated on small silicon chips, which came to be known as integrated circuits. This gave birth to the third generation of computers, which were significantly faster and smaller than the second generation computers. During the third generation, technology witnessed a shift from huge transistors to integrated circuits. The best feature of this era computers was the speed and reliability. A single IC has many transistors, registers, and capacitors built on one thin slice of silicon. Programming was now done using higher level language like BASIC, which is beginner's all purpose symbolic instruction code. Also, mini computers found their shape during this era. Now let's discuss the main characteristics of third generation of computers. Their main electronic component was integrated circuit, which is ICs. These machines used high-level programming languages. The memory devices used were large magnetic core, magnetic tape or disk. We also saw new input devices in the form of magnetic tapes and keyboards. The output devices were also upgraded to screens and printers. Some common third generation computers were IBM 360, IBM 370, PTP-11, NCR 395, B6500, UNIVAC 1108, etc. The next decade further enhanced the technologies, and now hundreds of ICs containing thousands of transistors could be integrated on small silicon chips known as microprocessors. The fourth generation of computers used these microprocessors. The advantage of this technology was that one microprocessor could contain all the circuits required to perform arithmetic, logic, and control functions on one chip. The computers were using microchips and they were called microcomputers. This generation provided even smaller size of computers with larger capacities. The Intel 4004 chip developed in 1971 located all the components of the computer from the central processing unit and memory to input-output controls on one chip and allowed the dimension to reduce drastically. Technologies like multiprocessing, multiprogramming, time sharing, operating speed, and virtual memory made it a more user-friendly and customary device. The concept of private computers and computer networks came into being within the fourth generation. Let us now discuss the main characteristics of fourth generation computers. The main electronic component is very large scale integrated chips, VLSI, and the microprocessor. The memory used is semiconductor memory such as RAM and ROM. We saw new input and output devices in form of pointing devices, optical scanning, keyboards, monitor, printer, etc. Now let's discuss some of the examples of fourth generation computer. IBM PC, Star 1000, Apple II, Apple Macintosh, Alter 8800, etc. Moving forward, the fifth generation computers introduced artificial intelligence or AI. This allows computers to behave like humans. It is often seen in programs like voice recognition area of medicines and entertainment. Within the field of games, it has shown remarkable performance where computers are capable of beating human competitors. The speed is highest, the size is the smallest, and area of use has remarkably increased within the fifth generation of computers. Though not 100% AI has been achieved to date, but keeping inside the present developments, it is often said that this dream will soon become the reality. In order to summarize the features of varied generation of computers, the cost for computers is decreasing and reliability is in fact increasing. Now coming to the main characteristics of fifth generation of computers. Based on artificial intelligence, It uses the ultra large scale integration ULSI technology and parallel processing method. Fifth generation computers understand natural human language. They are portable and smaller in size. Input and output devices include trackpad, which is touchpad, touchscreen pen, speech input, which is voice recognition, light scanner, printer, keyboard, monitor, mouse, etc. Example of fifth generation computers are desktops, laptops, tablets, smartphones, etc. Since we are all now aware of the history of computers, we will learn about the different types of computers that exist. Computers are divided into different categories, but we are going to specifically discuss the classification based on their sizes. So we have supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini computers, personal computers, which are PCs, or microcomputers. Let's start with supercomputers. A supercomputer is a powerful computer that can process large amount of data and do a great amount of computation very quickly. These are used for areas related to science, engineering, education, defense, aerospace, and for complex tasks such as weather forecasting, climate research, scientific simulation, oil and gas exploration, and quantum mechanics. CDC 6600 is considered to be the first successful supercomputer. Param 8000 was first Indian supercomputer developed by the Center for Development of Advanced Computing or CDAC. Next we have mainframe computers. These are high performance computers used for large information processing jobs. More than 100 users can use a mainframe computer simultaneously. And these mainframe computers are very expensive. These computers are primarily used in institutions, research, academics, healthcare, libraries, large businesses, financial institutions, and are useful for tasks related to census, industry and consumer statistics, enterprise resource planning, transaction processing, e-business, and e-commerce. Next, we have mini computers. It is a mid-range computer that is intermediate in size, power, speed, storage capacity, etc. between a mainframe and a microcomputer. These are used by small organizations. In recent years, these are often referred to as small or mid-sized servers which provides information to other computers. They can process and store large amounts of data because they have higher configuration than a microcomputer. Several users can work on them at the same time. Some examples of mini computers are HP 3000 and HP 2100 series. Last but not the least, we have microcomputers. It is the smallest general purpose machine. Microcomputer is now primarily used for a PC, but it can refer to any kind of small computer such as desktop computer, a laptop computer, tablet, smartphone, or wearable. They have limited storage capacity and processing capability. They are relatively inexpensive than other computers and specifically designed for individual use. These are widely used and are the fastest growing computers. Some example of microcomputers are desktop computers. A desktop computer is built to be kept on the desk and hence its name. It comes with various components such as a monitor, keyboard, mouse, etc. The desktops are generally used in workplaces as well as in homes, and they are non-portable and require more power to operate than the laptops. Now moving on to the next example. We have a very commonly seen device which is portable and can be carried around easily. Yes, you guessed it right. We are talking about a laptop, also known as notebooks. These computers are smaller in size and can be placed on the lap, and this is why these are called laptops. These are battery operated computers and can be carried in a briefcase or in a backpack and used anywhere, even while traveling. And then we have netbooks. These are also laptops that are energy efficient, smaller in size, more suitable for wireless communication. It is a small mobile computing device that has less processing power and storage space than a laptop. These are inexpensive computers. Next up, we have Personal Digital Assistant or PDA. This is a portable device that acts as a personal information manager. These devices were generally used by individuals to manage their information. They combine computing, internet, and network features. These computers were used to store commonly needed information such as emails, phone numbers, and other important data. Don't you think all these features are available to us but on a different device? Yes, correct. All these features are now available in our smartphones as well. And that is why not many people use PDAs now. Now that we have learned about the past, it's time to learn about the present scenario of computers and learn about all the cool gadgets that are available to us. Tablet PC, a tab. A tablet is even more portable than a laptop and it does not use any mouse or keyboard, but instead it has a touch screen. It is a wireless and battery operated personal computer and it needs charging just like our phone. A tablet usually has a software application which is used to run a virtual keyboard for typing. You can work on it or use it for your entertainment purpose like watching a movie or playing games. The most famous tablets are Apple's iPad, Samsung Galaxy Tab, and now a fun fact. The idea of tablet computing is credited to Alan Kay of Xerox. The first widely sold tablet computer was Apple Computers Newton. Next up we have a convertible tablet or a two-in-one computer. It can function either as a standalone touchscreen or a computer. The screen folds back all the way around, turning the machine into a rectangular slate. Because the keyboard is still attached, convertibles are heavier and thicker than the regular tablets without the keyboards. Examples of convertible are Lenovo Yoga, HP X360, etc. Next up we have smartphones. It is a device that is used by almost everybody these days. So we all know what is a smartphone, but from the exam point of view, let us look at the definition and its features. A smartphone is a cellular telephone in which the features of a computer have been integrated, such as operating system, web browsing, and the ability to run software application. It has the following features: internet connectivity, a mobile browser, the ability to sync more than one email account to a device, embedded memory, a hardware or software-based QWERTY keyboard, wireless synchronization with other devices such as laptop, desktop computers. Commonly used smartphones are Apple iPhone, Samsung Galaxy S, OnePlus, etc. Lastly, for all the bibliophiles, we have an ebook reader. It is a portable electronic device designed for the purpose of reading ebooks and magazines. They have better screen readability and longer battery life than the tablets. The most common ebook reader is Amazon Kindle. Now to conclude, in today's video, we learned about 5 generations of computers, classification of computers based on their sizes. Also, what all IT gadgets are available to us. We believe you were able to understand the basics of computers. We will meet again in the next video to discuss in detail the basics of hardware and software devices.